Good morning, good afternoon, year 3 and 4. This is Miss Edwards and I'm going to be doing some of your topic work with you today. And I put a suggestion on the home learning that you could, if you have the ingredients, make some Egyptian flatbread. So I'm going to have a go at doing it with you. So remember, before you do any cooking, you need to make sure with an adult that that's okay, and you're probably going to need some help, especially when we get to the oven section. You need an adult to do that for you. Okay, let's go. First things first, we need to wash our hands. First, you need to measure out 200 millilitres of warm water. So I'm running my warm tap and I'm going to fill it until it gets to 200 millilitres. Next, you need to add a teaspoon of yeast to your warm water and give it a mix. Okay, so on the instruction it says, in a big bowl, mix the water and yeast together, let it rest for 5 minutes. So I'm going to mix this for a little bit. Then you need to add 250 grams of plain flour to a separate bowl. To your flour, you need to add a teaspoon of salt. Then you need to add a tablespoon, so the bigger spoon, of olive oil to your flour. So I haven't got olive oil, I'm using rapeseed oil, but it will be okay, whatever you have. Now we need to add the flour, salt and olive oil to our water and yeast mixture. Make sure you get it all in. You now need to do a really big mix of all the ingredients until it's a smooth dough, okay? The recipe says if it's a bit sticky, you can add a bit more flour, and I've been mixing mine for a little while and I think it needs a little more flour, so you may need to do this step as well. I'm happy with my dough now that I've added extra flour, so I'm ready to cover it up and put it in a warm place for 2 hours. And in that time, it should double in size, hopefully, fingers crossed. Once you've taken it out after the 2 hours, it should have risen to a bigger size, like so. Then you need to make sure you've preheated your oven to 220 degrees. I'm going to put mine on 180 because I've got a gas oven. I would then lightly dust your work surface. I cleaned this before I put the flour on to make sure it was safe to use for the bread. And then we're going to take it out of the bowl. You then need to use a rolling pin to flatten the bread. You can use some extra flour because it can be quite sticky, and then cut it in half. You need to get a baking tray, and I'm going to put a little bit of oil on and spread that around with some flour to stop the bread from sticking. You then need to transfer your flatbreads onto the baking tray, and it doesn't matter what they look like, they're just flatbreads, so you should have 2 large ones, and then you place it into the oven for 20 minutes. So you can put a timer on or check the time when you put it in. After the 20 minutes, safely with an adult and some oven gloves, take your flatbreads out of the oven, let them cool for a while, and then you can enjoy them. Thank you all for watching and making the Egyptian flatbread. I hope you enjoy yours. See you soon.